employees at WMATA, leading the design build effort for the Northern Bus Garage reconstruction project. For today on our agenda, we have introductions, project review and updates, community room updates, and the timeline, what to expect for 2025 and beyond. Next slide, please. So just a quick introductions for the folks who may be new to our meetings. In addition to myself, we have Mr. Sean Pratt. He is the PMCM project manager. We also have Ms. Megan Murphy. She is the contractor project manager. And we also have Mr. Daniel Leckie. He is the architectural historian with WMATA. With that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Murphy for a project overview on construction updates.
Great. Thanks, Maya. All right. So in terms of progress since our last meeting, in the foundations and underground area, we have continued with the slab on grade concrete placement. We're at about 90% complete, just working on the last few pours at the south end of the building. We're also working on underground piping and conduit installation, which occurs prior to that concrete slab placement. In terms of the superstructure, the rest of the building, that's been rising. Steel erection and metal deck installation is 100% complete. It's a huge milestone for us. Really, really happy about that. We can move on to the other components of the building. And structural slab concrete is also 100% complete. So that's everything except the slab on grade in terms of concrete is complete structurally. We will be starting the topping slab concrete, which is on the car parking level. I guess we just started recently, actually. So we'll continue with that. It's been going well. And large equipment deliveries are also ongoing. Next slide. All right, for the building envelope, our exterior wall framing and air barrier installation is ongoing. The east elevation of the building is nearly complete. I have a couple photos of that later. We've started window frame and glass installation, which I also have photos of. I added in to kind of show off. We've started exterior brick and precast. We're going to be starting the penthouse level, so it's the topmost portion of the building, of course. And our roofing installation and testing is ongoing. In terms of inside the building, install of door frames and masonry walls is ongoing. Mechanical, electrical, and plumbing installation is ongoing. We've started fireproofing and painting since last time, and we have interior wall framing starting soon. Next slide. All right, wet utilities. This was work that impacted the roadway areas. We're currently on hold with our utility tie-ins, but we have 3 more that are yet to occur. These will be along Arkansas, Buchanan, and 14th Street. On 14th Street, that work will be entirely within our property of the project. Along Arkansas and Buchanan, some portions will occur in the street. We'll give advance notice of those before they occur. That work is likely to resume first half of next year. Next slide. In terms of ongoing site maintenance, we have for erosion sediment control, we have our maintenance of controls in place, silt fence, inlet protection. We check it all the time. We've also had periodic inspections by DOEE. We're fully in compliance. They've had no issues identified. We just had an inspection a couple weeks ago. For delivery logistics, we are working on ongoing enforcement of compliance with idling regulations. This is a challenge, but we're committed to this. We're also working on advance notice of any potential lane closures around the sites. We had one on October 8th, and then another one today that affected the parking lane on 14th. Hopefully you all saw the notification go out in advance of that occurring. For construction entrances, we're street sweeping at those entrance and exit points, still working on getting out of the dirt areas with those last few slab on grade concrete pours. And then we'll worry less about tracking dirt out onto the street. Environmental, the latest environmental reports are posted on the website if you would like to access those. And then for pest control, ongoing pest control, they do periodic inspections quarterly and rebaiting of stations. Next slide. All right, so we added some photos just to share a little bit more. Maybe you've definitely not been inside the building, but if you want to know what we're working on, this is on the bus storage level. This is the ground level. You can see the work that we've done over here. Quite a bit of paint has occurred as well. Everything's going to be white inside for some light reflectant properties. Next slide. This is on the bus maintenance level, which is one floor up from ground level. This is in the northwest corner. We've advanced quite a bit of ductwork for the HVAC system in this area, and we're working on some masonry walls that'll go in around it. Next slide. Also on bus maintenance level, a nice long run of some mechanical piping here. Just thought it was a cool photo. Next slide. And in case you haven't seen the east elevation, I mentioned it's nearly complete. You can see the brick that we've installed, those red panels we've installed, kind of from a different view than you'd normally see. This is a photo that was taken from a helicopter, which is pretty cool. And next slide. You can see some of the windows that have been installed. Most of them are a little bit difficult to see. They're behind the scaffolding, but the windows on that next floor up, you can see, I think they look pretty nice. So just wanted to share a bit of what it's looking like from a maybe different perspective, up close view of the work we've been doing. And now I will turn it over to Daniel. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Leckie, the new architectural historian at WMATA, taking over for my predecessor, Jeff Winstall. And I just wanted to say, look forward to working through this project with everybody. It's very exciting. So I'll be giving an update on the community room. Next slide. So basically, this happened before I got here. So feel free to correct if I get anything wrong. But my understanding is that Metro hosted an open house on March 26th to basically engage with the community and residents living in the vicinity of Northern Bus Garage to vote on a final concept for the community room and how the exhibit space will be displayed there. And this survey was open through April 15th of this year. Next slide. The results of that survey were we got 140 individuals to participate. The vast majority of them were residents from within the general neighborhood and community area around the Northern Bus Garage, and it included some business owners as well. And the results of that were that the continuous single panel design was the preferred, with splitting the vote about 50%. And the results of that include that some of the content that residents would like to see include tokens, ticket passes, bus types over the years, and various changes to the bus barn. So we're working to incorporate all of that good stuff that you want to see in with some of our more technical requirements, as this will need all this will need to be reviewed and approved by both folks here at WMATA as well as this DC Historic Preservation Office. And next slide. So I think this is turning it over to Sean or Maya.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. Good evening. Very happy to be here again. Outlook for the next period. Really, it's a continuation of the work that Megan described, finishing the external and carrying on with the interior building services and walls. To get specific, we're going to continue the slab on grade on the lower level and finish that. Continue the mechanical, electrical, plumbing inside the building that you saw some pictures of. Continue the exterior wall framing and finishes, as Megan described, finishing the walls. By the end of the year, we plan on being watertight, and so we can start putting in the major electrical equipment into the building so we can, energize later in 2026. Continue the roof installation and testing. Right now, we're up on the top level, carrying out water tests prior to the pavement being installed on that level. continue the CMU wall installation and begin the interior wall framing, and then continue and complete the fire painting and some of the painting inside the building. Next slide, please. Current schedule, we're working on the base building, and we expect to finish the base building, which is the building itself, the administration areas, the external, by Q2 of 2027. With the addition of the BEB, we're currently finalizing the schedule with the contractor. It's been a very protracted negotiation, including the long lead items, but we're at the point where it's tied down. And we expect the BEB to be fully operational and buses to be in revenue service first quarter of 2029. Next slide. Okay, hand back over to Maya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. To wrap our slides today, and just a reminder for the new community members, you can always reach out to us. We have a dedicated email address, which is listed here, mcap_NVG_reconstruction_project.wamata. We also have our website. Please check our website, sign up for the newsletters if you have not received the core newsletters. That means that you need to sign up, put your information in there. You can sign up at the website. There's additional information, including this slide deck, previous slide decks, host of information about the project. And as we move forward to the next meeting, we'll be announcing the date. Also, feel free to follow us on the various media sites listed below, and periodically we'll have additional information on the project. And with that, I will thank you again for your time. I'll turn it over to Dallas for Q&A.
Thank you, Maya. I know some of you were not on when we officially began the call. There are two ways you can ask questions. There's a Q&A tool at the bottom of the bar for the Zoom link, or you can raise your hand. There's also, if you're on your phone, press star and 9. That will allow you to raise your hand, and that way we can address any questions that you might have. Okay. All right, we have two questions from Sharon. One is the pink siding on the Arkansas side of the building permanent? She says, I'm hoping something is going on top of it. It's very ugly and my house looks directly at it. So one question about the pink siding. The other is noticed an exhaust smell over the past few weeks and what that is coming from.
So I can answer the question about the panels.
Great.
So they're supposed to be red. They were approved as red panels on that east elevation. Those are permanent. I guess that's all I have to say on that.
Anything about the second part of the question?
I'm not sure about the exhaust smell. I don't know if it's in a certain location or certain time. I'm not sure about that one.
Okay. I see a hand raised, two other hands raised, but I do see also a question from Ellen Graper. How does changing the cadence of the meeting from quarterly to bi-monthly more proactive? Well, the idea, Ellen, is that I'll be the representative. So the idea is that I will attend the ANC meetings, other civic organization meetings, and I'll actually be in the neighborhood to communicate with you directly in situations where there may be an issue or some concern that you have. I will field that and bring that back to the project team and get back to you with an answer. And if I can't get the answer, I'll let you know what I'm doing to try to get it for you. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
This is Ellen Graper. Only if we know how we can get a hold of you. All I have for you is your name.
Absolutely.
I don't know who you work for.
Sure.
and I don't have any way to contact you.
Sure. My name's Dallas Thompson. I work for a company called Census. We are contracted to WMATA. I can actually, right now, I do not have my WMATA email address yet. I just kind of came on several weeks ago. But right now, if you go through, and if we go back one slide to the email that is in on slide 22, Janelle. The email that's in the green circle on the left, for right now, you can reach us through that. And once I get my WMATA email, I will share that with broadly. Okay. I see two hands that are up, or three hands. And can we take those in order? I believe it's Cynthia Prater. Ms. Prater?
Thank you. Thank you for the update and the opportunity to ask questions. Two things. You said an expected completion date, which I didn't get down before the slide changed. And the related question to that is, it seems to be a long time between the expected completion and the 2029. Is that opening? So can you explain that? My second question is the environmental report. You said it's on the website. Can you give us some highlights from that? What did it find? Thank you.
Okay, I can answer the schedule. Maybe we can go back to the slide so Ms. Prater can see it while we're talking
Slide
about
21, please.
Yeah. So the building itself will finish Q2 2027. So when you're looking from it externally, it will be complete. The charging equipment is on long lead, to get the electrical equipment and the charging equipment. It's currently being ordered, but it's not due on site. It was on, almost a 2-year delivery. So that will be arriving late 27, early 28 and be installed. We then have to go through quite a lot of testing and commissioning. And we also have to test and commission the electric buses as they're arriving. And so for the most part in 2028, early part of 2028, we'll be completing the charging electrical system. And then the final part of 2028 will be testing and commissioning the buses. As the new buses come, we do all the safety checks and make sure they're compatible and they're getting charged correctly. And then the plan is that we finish that Q1 2029, and that's when the buses will go out for operation at revenue service. So you will start seeing buses coming into the facility in 2028, but they won't be in revenue service until Q1 2029. Okay.
And I'm sorry, just what month does that translate into when you say the first quarter 2028?
Well, currently the schedule says January.
Okay.
So that's what we're planning around. Hopefully, it's at least January, if not better.
And the second question, please.
Yeah, Jim, do you want to answer that?
Yes, thank you. And I'd like to turn to another question that arose earlier, for which I raised my hand. The reports that Dallas referred to are the noise, vibration, and dust reports. They continue to show the elevated levels of noise associated with the community, the background, both construction noise and traffic noise, as well as other ambient background levels of noise. We expect to see, particularly now that the ground has been pretty much sealed up, the dust levels should abate, should start going down, but we'll continue to monitor that to make sure. We do see occasional vibration detections associated with construction activities. That's either construction activities on site, or occasionally a piece of construction equipment will tap the area near the vibration detection vibration meter, and that will cause exceedances. But those were the reports that Dallas was referring to. I should add that the other major area of interest on environment, we continue to work with DOEE. DOE has asked for some changes in our approach, and we're working with them on that. We don't have anything to report at this time, though I anticipate a report will be forthcoming. So that's to address Ms. Prather's comment or questions about the environmental reports. I'd like to set that down then and turn to the other question. The individual who reported the exhaust smell, I encourage you to share that information with Dallas so that he can share it with the project team and we can look into that. I'm not sure what I'm a little bit perplexed by that, and I want to understand that better. But if you would share that information with Dallas, Dallas will get it to me and my team, and we'll figure out what's going on that. Thank you, Dallas.
Thank you. There are a couple of questions in the Q&A tool. But before we go to those, Mr. Ugda, you have your hand raised, sir.
I do, but you can go ahead and take them because what I have is somewhat lengthy. I have several comments and questions. So if you don't mind, you can go ahead and take someone else and just come back to me.
Not a problem. Commissioner Zunda, you have 3 questions in the Q&A tool, sir. Would you prefer to articulate those for the group, sir?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So
Great.
the first chunk there, which is 3 parts in itself, plus the other 2 I followed it with, sorry. This might be me catching up on, so if it's the building completion in Q2 of 2027, operations 2029, I recognize buses and the explanation a moment ago on that. Things like the community room, things like potential commercial operations, when would they start? When would that happen? What's happening in that 2-year period from that perspective, separate of bus revenue bus operations?
So the plan is the retail space, community room is all finished with the base building. So that would be Q1 of 2027. So that's the goal. We're finishing as much as we can on the original target date, and that includes the rooms behind the historic facade. So the retail, community room, all on the base building.
Okay. I'm happy to speak to the last portion of that one from the BEB. Is there anything more specific that WMATA can do or is doing that will potentially accelerate that from the current timeline?
No, it's unfortunately no. The switchgear, charging equipment, was all on almost 2-year delivery. It's been ordered now for 6 months. But we would certainly have liked it to have been faster. But no, we're if the opportunity arises to expedite anything in the meantime, we will take it. But right now, we've done everything we can.
Okay, thank you, Sean. The second question, switching gears a little bit, a lot of this one specifically is a lot of what I hear from folks, like some of the people on this call, and those around businesses as well as residents, not noise violations, work violations of off-hour work. A lot of times there's some level of notice of, hey, we're trying to do some things, and getting that word out quick enough, or if that's okay with enough folks. And then those people that violate that, it usually sounds like some level of a slap on the wrist, more or less, and we asked them not to, we told them not to, or whatever. What's the enforcement behind that? Who's enforcing that to further ensure that that's not happening at the level that is kind of expected of the community?
So do you mean sorry, you mentioned like when we give advance notice of specific events, are you talking about
for advance notice, it sounds like those are approved of, hey, we've gotten kind of, but I think separate of those that are not pre-announced. if they are just in work hour violations, they're happening maybe on the weekends or evening hours. I don't know. And I don't have specific instances, so maybe it's not happening to this level.
Yeah. I know there were some instances of concrete finishing extending past the 7 p.m. Requirement. I will say recently, I mean, we've really tried to crack down on that. Even if they have to finish past 7 p.m., we're telling them not to use equipment. They'll have to finish it manually to get that work done. But I'm not aware of anyone else who's extending at all beyond the concrete finishers, and that's something we've really tried to get under control.
Okay.
Jim, I see your hand raised. Did you have something to add, sir?
I did not. That's an artifact. Thank you, Dallas.
Sorry, Randy.
No problem. Thanks, Megan. And then the last one, just to clear my slate here. I had previously requested a hard hat tour. I don't know what stage of this development. Obviously, there's pictures that show kind of the interior at a seemingly, from my non-technical brain perspective, that maybe it's possible sometime in the near future that certain folks from the community, representatives of groups, organizations, ANC, whatever, it doesn't have to be me, I'm not, but could get in there for greater transparency beyond the relationship we're building with Dallas and the updates that are provided here and the photographs. It was met with safety concerns, kind of broad. Just curious, what are the specific safety concerns that are preventing this, like some level of hard hat tour that people might be interested in? Not just anyone, I guess, not open to the public, but some level of insight for the community, transparency.
Okay. Is there any feedback on that question that Randy had?
Yeah, I think we can, in general, it's, it is a safety concern, not because there's any specific dangerous activities, but just because, we try to control external groups. And I know that you made a specific request, and definitely we can discuss that with Dallas, and if it's possible, we'll definitely reach back out.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's all I've got for now. Thank you.
Okay, great. I also see in the Q&A tool questions from Farah Fossey. Hope I pronounced your name properly. Would you like to articulate those? I see you have 3 in there.
And I think the point of contact one got addressed. I was mostly just raising that pretty regularly there's noise that shouldn't be happening that's between 6:30 and 7 a.m. I live on the 1300 block of Decatur. I'm within like 200 feet. And we did have this issue for a while, and I think it's kind of common on construction sites that maybe folks are told to be like work ready by 7, but to do that, they need to like move their, I don't work on a construction site, but what I hear is a lot of movement, a lot of trucks. It's loud. And that's happening like before 7 a.m. pretty regularly. If it's not, folks are just like hanging out on my street talking, and that's loud too. And it's been nice. I would love to have my windows open for that little bit of time before the construction starts, but it's also like pretty loud with that. Also, just like I think this has been, our street is pretty, for one thing, it is very, very, very quiet if there's not the bus barn construction. So the noise stuff is like, it hasn't been on the 1300 block of Decatur. But, I don't mind folks parking on the street. We have a lot of parking, but it is occasionally like just very, very full. And we haven't had street cleaning, the whole street cleaning season, because cars from Maryland and Virginia are blocking all of the street cleaning. And I haven't had anyone really to reach out to, because this email just is very general.
I will say for the noise in the morning, we'll reach out to our teams and remind them they should not be doing any of those things prior to 7. We'll make sure that is under control. Parking is something we're also trying to enforce on an ongoing basis. It is a challenge for us, but it's something we agreed to early on, and we intend to follow through with that. So we'll continue to try.
And I'm going to follow up on that, Ms. Fossey. Please communicate that information to Dallas so that he can get it to the project team. It's much easier for us to do it if we have the report the day of than it is after a forum like this. Though that said, I'm going to go back in and look at the noise logs to. I understand what you're saying. I've seen it before, and we're going to go back in and take a look at it. So thank you for the feedback.
Yes, and absolutely. And I will be your point of contact for any incidents or any issues. I do see another question in the Q&A tool from Sharon. And we talked about the building, when it would be done. The question was about what retailers are interested. Is there any feedback on that? I don't believe there is, but someone on the project team chime in.
Yeah, no, we don't have any specific retailers interested. Right now we're waiting for the interior space to be at a level that our retail team can kind of start that outreach to possible tenants. But right now, nothing. We don't have any specific information.
Okay. And Ms. Graper, I know that you asked a question earlier, and I see your question in the Q&A tool. I'm sorry, I don't remember if this was the question that you asked, so I wanted to just give you now the opportunity if you had anything else that you wanted us to address.
Yes, this question, my first question just related about was the cadence of the meetings, but my next question is about idling regulations, and I'd like to hear more about what specifically Clark is doing to inform drivers of the local regulations and what actions they're taking on enforcement. There was a situation last night where I timed a truck idling for over 2 hours. It was a really nice night last night, and I would have loved to have my windows open, but I prefer not to breathe diesel fumes. After 2 hours, I asked the driver to turn off his vehicle, and he did. But he said he had absolutely no understanding that there were any idling regulations in DC, which I found very hard to believe that you would have a commercial driving license and not have any understanding about idling regulations. So this has been a problem for over a year, and I appreciate the May engagement that Clark and WMATA had with me on my concerns, but the issue is not getting any better.
Yeah, I understand. I recall the meeting. As you know, so we have an individual who, when deliveries arrive, he reminds them if they're going to be sitting there to turn off their engines. All delivery trucks, all drivers are made aware of those regulations. This individual we were not aware had parked on the street, made a delivery. We thought that person had departed, and then learned later, based on your feedback, that had occurred. And I hope that was an outlier, but that is something, on a daily basis, on every delivery, we tell them. We have signs posted. It's something we're taking very seriously. And beyond that, yeah, I guess I'm not sure what to do about what's hopefully an outlier, other than receive your feedback and act on it.
Thank you. As a follow-up, I have been asked to provide real-time notification of any non-compliance, but that's not acted on. So again, it is frustrating as someone who's trying to work with you as a community member to notify you of non-compliance, but that notification doesn't seem to be welcome or acted on timely. That's my observation. So thank you for letting me share that.
Okay. Mr. Oog, do you have several questions? One, there's a request to explain some of the construction terms, perhaps like slab on grade and other things. There's also a question about the process in between meetings. When individuals do ask questions, how will the rest of us know the questions and the response? I can address that one. With the change in the cadence, one of the things is that we do know that there are ANC meetings monthly. There are other organization meetings monthly. We will still have the quarterly newsletters that are shared, but the intent is for me as a representative of the project team to be more involved in the local meetings, because as an entity constructing a bus garage, we can never be as close or as in touch with the community as some of the organizations there in the community and servicing the businesses and residents are. So the idea behind the change in the protocol and the approach that we're taking is specifically to try to increase that engagement by directly going to where you are versus trying to get you to come to us. So that's the thinking behind it. And of course, as we go forward, there's always room for improvement. My intent is to meet with some of you individually to address your concerns so that we can find ways to work on or explore ways to mitigate some of the issues together in a way that will be beneficial.
Let me
Yes.
just interject this
Yes, sir.
for a moment, and we can get back to the question. The concern that I and others are raising is this reconstruction project has had poor communication with the community, and despite your best efforts, I don't believe it's going to see much improvement if if we could accept what is happening right now. People are asking questions, all of them are not being answered. So how are we going to know the question that an individual community member may ask and what the response was to it? In other words, the thing that I have the biggest concern about is this new process is going to isolate the community. It's not going to bring us together. People are going to ask questions. You may provide the answer, but it's only going to be to that person. And so, and I guess where I have to just concede this process, that the new process is that even the old one wasn't working. I mean, WMATA and the community members can give you example after example of when they sent emails in offering comments, questions, concerns, and they were never addressed. So, I mean, I would ask, being new to this, you're going to have to be very sensitive to the fact that we're dealing with an organization that can't be trusted. They tell us one thing, they do something else, or they don't tell us at all. And that's a problem. And I don't think it's a problem that an individual is going to be able to solve. And I'm saying that, and before I say this, I want to thank, I believe it's Miss Pratt. I think she's like a project manager, if I'm not mistaken, because during the small group meeting, I asked for and did receive the east elevation of the project, showing, I think some of the brick wall had been done, some of the other treatments on the east side. And to be clear with folk, I'm speaking of the side along Arkansas Avenue between Iowa and Buchanan, being the east side of the project. Seeing that, one of the things that I testified to during historic preservation meetings was for WMATA to do something to soften that wall, because now they've taken up, I mean, almost the entire lot with this project. But the people who live along Arkansas Avenue, when they come out of their homes in the morning or come back in the evening, all they're going to see is this massive building of brick and slabs of whatever facing they're using on that east side. So we we asked for some type of vine landscaping that would soften it. I don't know if I got around to doing it or whether you've seen it. There was, and I can certainly follow through with you on it. But initially, there was to have been artwork commissioned for that particular side. And that was nixed in favor of one sculpture at the corner of 14th and Buchanan. So when I'm kind of giving you and others in this process some history as to what has been promised to us and what's being delivered. I think someone did ask, I think it was Miss Fossey. No, it wasn't. I think it was Sharon who asked about the commercial space. So as you're getting along, and you were talking about doorways are being put in and entrances, etc. What is the progress on the commercial space? I'm not talking about who you may rent it to, but construction wise, is that on schedule? Is there anybody that can answer that?
Yeah, Mr. It's on schedule to be complete Q1
Okay.
2027. The progress inside right now is, it's directly adjacent to the historic facade. So inside, I would say 80% of the concrete floors in that area. There's no walls or anything yet.
Right.
There's still some concrete floor to be installed. We're hopeful by the end of the year that all the floors are complete and the walls start going up. But right now, it's not as complete as some of the other areas.
Are we still looking at 22 to 25,000 square feet?
Leasable total area, including back of house, is like 28,000. The actual retail area, 21,000 square feet.
Okay, so it's still within the same range that
it's still the same. Yeah.
Right. But you are aware it started out with 50 to 55,000 square feet.
Yeah, that was before my time. I think that was possibly some misinformation, but right now, all I can say is right now it's retail area is 21,000 square feet.
Okay. One of the other things that I did not, and I just noticed this, and it goes right along with Ms. Fossey's concern about this parking issue. I've noticed here lately on the east side of 14th Street, that is on the side of the bus garage, I'm just going to say the construction workers have been reserving spaces for themselves during the evenings and weekends so that when they come back the next day, there's space available for them to park, ignoring the businesses on the west side in the 46 and 4700 blocks. That has got to change. I don't care how public you all think the street is. You're destroying the business community. And that has to change.
The only spaces that they should be reserving are the spaces immediately in front of the gates. If they're reserving anything else, that shouldn't be happening, but just for the gates to be accessible. So when there are barrels in the street there.
What I have seen, I'm assuming these are public spaces because what they've been blocking off, there's a meter there. So I guess I could go, if it would make a difference, I can go down and take pictures so that you can see what it is that I see.
Sure.
But, I hesitated to do that because I mean, in the past, I've provided that sort of evidence and nothing's changed.
Okay.
So let me know what it is you'd like for me to do, but
Yeah.
I know what it is that I saw, and not just one day, but over several days.
Mr. It would be beneficial to me if you could annotate those situations where you see these violations. You have my number, sir. You can always shoot me a text, text me the picture,
Okay.
and tell me when it's happened. I also just want to address one other things that you mentioned as a concern as far as getting information out to the community. One of the tools that we do have is we have this database, and that's why we encourage people to subscribe to the newsletters, because that will put you in that database. Going forward, one of the things that we want to do, or the idea is, as you mentioned, with this new approach, there'll be questions, there'll be things that will not be to the general public until we have one of these meetings that are more broadly for the community. But in those smaller meetings with, say, the ANC or one of the other community groups, if there are things that are asked that, and I'm sure any question that's asked, one person, it's not one person who has that question. So the intent is, as we get these concerns into these other things and we find solutions or ways to address it, the intent is to put that out through that tool. That tool, again, really for people who have registered, they're the ones who get the emails and the newsletters and those types of things. So the idea is to encourage as many people who would benefit from that information to do that. That's the thinking going forward, sir.
Okay. Last comment that I have is being addressed to, is it Mr. Lecky or Lackey? I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Lecky, you had it right the first time, Mr.
Lecky. Okay, yeah. I understand that you are the historian, and that you recently came on board replacing Jeff Winstel.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Winstel and I had several conversations. We exchanged several emails. I was probably one of his more active participants in the historical portion of this community room. And one of the things that I continuously mentioned to him, and what I'm looking for in this community room, is some acknowledgement of WMATA's history, not only at Northern, or not only as an entity that now controls transportation across the DMV, but at Northern and some of these other garages where there was continual racial discrimination that I addressed to Mr. Winstel. I mean, you can go back and look at his notes. And if you fail to find it, I have the emails that I sent to him. But I'm not clear as to how this community room is going to address, this or address this racial component.
Yes, I'm hearing you, sir. I have been in touch with Mr. Winstel. As you know, we didn't get a chance to overlap, unfortunately. So I'm sure there is some aspects of your conversation with him that's been lost in translation. But I do have a transcript of sort of interview that he did with you at one point. So I've gone over those notes and, again, spoken with him. He mentioned your conversations and your active participation within the process. Right now, I'm just working to getting up to speed. I started in mid-September, so doing my best to kind of put all those pieces together. But as that happens and as that textual and visual information is compiled, I'd be glad to continue to engage with you, and anything that you have that you want to share with me. I'm glad offline to, share my contact information with you so that we can continue to have, continue that conversation that you were having Jeff Winslow beforehand.
Okay. Yeah. Dallas, can you make sure that I have his contact information?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great, Dallas. You can just
Okay.
put us right in touch, and I'm more than happy to continue to again engage you and the other community members that have been actively involved in developing this, because I know it's going to be a really special space for the local community. So thank you for bringing that up, and I appreciate
and if you
having a
don't
chance
know,
to dialogue with you this evening, sir.
okay. If you don't know, I worked at that garage.
Yes, yeah, I did read again, I did read some of the interview that you had done with Jeff, and
Okay.
there were some really good quotes in there and stuff. So hoping to use some of that within that interpretation. It's going to be sort of a design by committee kind of thing.
Right.
You know, there'll be a lot of cooks stirring this broth.
Right.
But I hope that I'm putting something together that y'all will respond with, and if not, we'll work to refine that over time.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I believe that that addresses yeah, I'm just looking over my notes here, but I pretty much think that does address the issues that I wanted to raise. Thank you, and thanks to the community for indulging, my comments and questions.
We appreciate the robust dialogue, Mr. Ugda. I do see something from Susan, and I think it's in reference to the retail spaces and that question about this is your first meeting. Welcome. There is no residential housing with the project, but the question was about how many retail spaces would be there. Is there anything else that you want to add to that question, Susan?
So it's the space is 21,000 square feet, as we said. It could be in as many as 4 different units, or it could be, a combination of between 1 and 4. It's not yet determined. Obviously, that will depend on response to advertisement and potential tenants.
Okay. I don't see any other questions in the Q&A tool. Are there any other questions? You can raise your hand or put them in the chat. We're getting about at time. There's about 3 minutes left within the scheduled time. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns that you'd like to bring up before we adjourn?
Dallas, can you hear me? This is Erica
Yes.
Cunningham with WMATA.
Hello, yes, I can.
Oh, great, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I wanted to personally apologize to anyone who might have sent me a message that I was not very responsive to. I have leaned back in. As you all can imagine, in an organization our size, we have a lot of work streams, and sometimes things do get lost in translation or not routed to the right team as timely as possible. For several of the last months, I was down a team member, which has been filled for the last few months. So we are definitely working to be more proactive, identify how, when you all provide us real-time photos and feedback, how we can close that gap. Many of us don't work 24 hours, so sometimes when things come at late hours in the evening, we aren't able to just jump right on it. So we as a team do want to look at how we can best address that, because we do know that if it's a truck idling right now, being able to address that person in real time and not have this kind of circular conversation stating they don't know the rules and regulations when as WMATA, we're confident that we have provided those to all of the vendors that we work with. We just want to cut out all of the I thought, I said, I did. And so we appreciate your patience as we continue to make sure that we are doing our best to build a world-class facility while focused on the concerns of the community. So I just wanted to take a moment to say that. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you very much, Erica. I appreciate that. Again, I do want to echo, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule today to speak with us. We appreciate the robust conversation. We appreciate the dialogue. As I mentioned, I will be your point of contact, and those items that you need answers on, it will be my responsibility to track those down. And as I mentioned, I will do my best to share. If I don't have the answer, let you know what I'm doing to get it. If there are any, I do see Mr. Uda, you just raised your hand, sir.
Yeah, I just I put the question in the chat. If anyone knows, is Amy Misrobian still with WMATA in the same capacity she was when she came on board from California?
Yes, she is.
She is, okay. When do you anticipate she may join one of these meetings?
When there's an update that's zero emission. I mean, right now we have a plan, right? As you heard from the timeline, we are implementing, we are already moving forward with the procurement. So this facility is already going to be a zero emission vehicle, right?
So,
I mean,
so she was part of that procurement, right?
She was part of the planning, right? She
Right, okay.
is, yeah, she's part of the planning.
Okay, so we may not hear from her for another year or two.
If you have anything specific, Mr. Ugda, please let us know and we can definitely respond.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can. Okay, I guess I'll send my questions to Dallas because I did have some specific questions some months ago, but I'll try to follow this new process. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you could relay those questions to me, Mr. Uda, we can kind of get that rolling again. Sorry for any delay. But again, I want to thank everybody for their time. And this presentation, as well as this meeting, will be on the website. It's recorded. For any of your friends or neighbors or who could not join, they can listen to the meeting and see the presentation. And please provide any questions that you may have or anything that you may want to be addressed. Something may come up after the call that you just thought of, but please let us know so that we can work to try to address your concerns. And with that said, again, thank you. Have a wonderful evening, and we will talk soon. Have a great day.